Coach Brands here at the Olympic Qualifier. Spencer Lee gets it done, comes through, qualifies the weight. What do you see on him today?
He earned it. He's been through a lot. We got a lot further to go. 3 months.
What has the past couple weeks been like for him? Going through the trials process, having to reset for this.
He was like, we're going to the qualifier. I mean, he hadn't even got off the mat in Pennsylvania. So he knew what was ahead of him. He knew the steps. He's a unique guy when it comes to competition. Knows what's ahead of him.
That's for sure. He just said as much. He said, this tournament's over for me. I'm ready to get ready for the Olympics.
That's right. I mean, I mean, it's not the end point because there's more wrestling for him. He's young. He has a lot that he wants to accomplish, but that's the goal, so to speak.
For you, what's it like coaching a guy like Spencer? You've obviously been in his shoes and have the same goals as
I don't think I've been in his shoes. I don't think there's many people that are in his shoes. He's a 3-time age group champion, world champion. A very, very talented, unique competitor. I've said that a lot in his college path or journey, and I think it got old to say, or maybe to hear, not old for me to say, because I know what I mean. No one else knows what I mean by that. Spencer knows what I mean. The people that are closest to him know what I mean, and I know what I mean. But no one knows what I mean, and so when you keep saying that he's a unique competitor, it does get old, but he's really, really a unique competitor.
For you, what's it been like being a part of his journey so far? I mean, there's obviously still goals ahead, but going through his recruitment, he was in Rio with Dan at the Olympics, right? I mean, he was with you in college, with you now, and he's had a lot of ups and downs throughout his career. For him to bounce back like this, what does it mean to you? I mean, just to be with him on this journey.
He was in Rio with Dennis, but he was training for a U20 championship. So, I mean, that just shows you, that he wasn't in a mode of just absorb and be a sponge. He was in the mode to get better and the elite of the elite environment. I mean, Burroughs was there. I mean, the best of our country, best in the world were there. And he was a part of that. To see the challenges that he's had, the ups and the downs, I think there's a lot of dramatic feelings that you could probably go back and talk about if you're not a realist. He's a realist. He doesn't suck his thumb. We're realists, and we worked our tail off to put him in positions where he could take the next step. We have a great medical team. That's got to be said. He has a great family, Larry and Kathy Lee and his twin sister. They are rocks for him. So you talk about journeys where there's that kind of, where there's, I don't know if it's drama or if it's maybe like a little, man, this guy got a bad rap, but he never, put his head down. He always faced the challenge. And you know what? That builds character. Regardless of what's thrown at you, you face the challenge.
What is it about Iowa and this lightweight situation? You guys seem to take the cake at the lightweight consistently. I
mean, we would like to take the cake at all weights. I think when you talk about the lightweights and, you talk about Dan Dennis and you talk about, Gilman and so on and so forth, there's more than just those two in addition to Spencer. It's just, what's inside of these guys. There's just a lot of things that don't rattle them. I mean, the common denominator with great competitors is all the same. I mean, they can live in a gutter and go out and do it. They can live in a gutter and go out and do it. That's how determined they are. And no matter what's thrown at you, you're going to get the job done. But you know what? Spencer Lee is a very humble, thankful guy at the bottom of it. And you don't see that sometimes. You don't see that. You see that spark and that fire and kind of the abruptness. But I'm going to tell you something, the guy knows what he wants. And it's easy to support a guy like that when you know what you want.
So speaking of support, there's a lot of Hawkeye Wrestling Club folks out here supporting Spencer on his trip. Yourself, Drake, Dan's here. I mean, talk about that culture that you have, that family that you have, Hawkeye Wrestling Club, and the support that and opportunity it provides for someone like Spencer to chase his goals. How important is that to you?
It's a lot of people. You're talking about Drake Ayala and you're talking about Chad Beatty, who are both here. And when he won in Pennsylvania, I told Beatty, I said, you're going to Turkey. And he said, oh, and then he started thinking about it. And then he's going to Turkey. So that's important. It's important to me. It's important to our club. The biggest thing is that I mentioned, Drake Ayala coming. His instructors, his professors are letting him take his finals after he gets back. So, there's a lot of, that's a concession. That's a relationship. Drake Ayala is a good enough student that he could ask for those favors. And no hesitation there. So that's a lesson. The other lesson is, and you hit on it a little bit, but the donors. This is real people that put real resources into our regional training center, our Hawkeye Wrestling Club. And you cannot do it without them. Very, very, very important. And you got to have results. I mean, don't be a guy with your head in the sand and just think that people are good-natured enough to just do what they do just because, they half believe in you. I think we have put our best foot forward here with our best people, and we've got some great, great partners that believe in us.
Last thing, so Spencer Lee, Paris 2024 Olympian. What's he got to do to get to the top of the podium and achieve his goals?
Weather the storms a little bit more even. And he knows what I mean by that. I'll leave it at that. Go Spencer.